2024 is the year where almost half of the world's population is set to go to polls. It's also a year where more and more instances of election meddling are coming to light. What this means, which are the countries affected by it, and will technology make this trend even more dangerous and weaken democratic processes around the world, is what we will discuss in today's edition of Decode. I am Gaurie Dwivedi. Election meddling is where foreign agents that may or may not be related to any government try to affect a democratic election process by influencing the issues on which the election is fought, or swaying the narrative, or impacting the actual voter turnout. Increasingly, governments are accusing each other of interfering in their national elections. The latest is Canada accusing China of meddling in its 2019 and 2021 national elections, both of which incidentally were won by Justin Trudeau's Liberal Party. Trudeau testified in the public inquiry on foreign interference that China had tried to meddle, but insisted that Beijing was not able to effect the final election outcome. It's alleged China wanted Trudeau to form a minority government to reduce his leverage for any future action that would be taken against China on matters related to national security or trade. But it's not just Canada. US, UK and India, the three most significant democracies on the planet, are all set to go to elections this year, and all are at a heightened risk of being impacted due to foreign interference. Microsoft has warned that in the Indian elections, at a minimum, China will create and distribute through social media AI-generated content that benefits their positions in these high-profile elections. Any meddling in India's election process is bound to have larger national security implications. Perhaps that's why China is interested in meddling. Microsoft believes China has already used this template in Taiwan's January 2024 elections and will replicate the same for the high-stakes India polls. In February 2024, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence in the United States issued a threat assessment and said Beijing is expanding its global covert influence posture to better support the CCP's goals. The PRC aims to sow doubts about US leadership, undermine democracy, and extend Beijing's influence. In short, Beijing is trying to do in USA and India what it did in Taiwan, or perhaps what Russia is alleged to have done in the 2016 American elections. The UK, which is set to go to elections towards the end of 2024, faces similar threats from Russia, China, and Iran. The idea for such a well-planned and coordinated exercise is to promote divisions in the society at a time when elections exacerbate such differences. There's actually now a term for it, known as spamouflage, where covert accounts masquerading as voters of a party run down genuine supporters of any opponent using everything from conspiracy theories to falsehoods. And while most of this meddling happens via advanced technology tools, democracies are grappling for answers. On 2nd of April 2024, US President Joe Biden warned his Chinese counterpart to not interfere in the American elections to be held end of 2024. But the fact that such a call was necessary indicates the problem that countries like US, India, and UK face, and the limited solutions in their arsenal. Technology, as it empowers, also exposes the loopholes that exist in our societies. As AI becomes more sophisticated, election meddling will become more widespread and possibly difficult to trace. Reports suggest there is an AI-generated Biden-like figurine trying to influence American voters. Doubt and suspicion about the democratic process thrive in the absence of clarity, requiring governments to respond real-time to every such threat. If Justin Trudeau had acted in time on the intel inputs, the Chinese efforts to interfere would have been nipped in the bud. After all, countries like Indonesia, Maldives, South Africa, Mexico, Venezuela, and a whole host of others will all take cue from how democracies like US, India, and UK respond to the growing and all-pervasive foreign interference threat.